As we head into the end of 2024 and beyond, the indie game scene is brimming with creative, boundary-pushing titles that are set to redefine what players expect from gaming. With fresh takes on beloved genres, imaginative storytelling, and bold mechanics, these upcoming indie releases promise to deliver captivating worlds and unforgettable experiences. Without further ado, here are our 10 upcoming indie games that are set to make waves and capture players' attention in the months ahead in the remainder of 2024 and 2025. The first title on our list is Mirthwood. Mirthwood is a life simulation game from Bad Ridge Games set in a hand-drawn fantasy world where players can cultivate their own homestead, explore mysterious lands, and engage with a wide cast of characters. In Mirthwood, players take on daily life with a twist. Beyond just farming and managing resources, they'll face threats, go on adventures, and build relationships, giving it a refreshing blend of life sim mechanics with RPG and narrative elements. This unique mix means that players can carve out a peaceful life growing crops or dive into combat and romance to shape their own stories in the game's enchanting and sometimes dangerous world. What makes the game stand out is its player agency. With a high degree of customization, players can shape their homestead, outfit their character, and decide how to live in this vibrant, reactive environment. The hand-drawn art style brings a special charm, making every field, forest, and town feel immersive and alive, and the developers have worked to balance exploration, social interaction, and strategic resource management, offering both a relaxing and adventurous experience. For those seeking a fresh take on life simulation with a strong narrative and immersive world, Mirthwood seems poised to deliver. The game launched initially on November 6th, but will have a console version potentially if demand is there based on the success of the title. Up next is Wanderstop. Wanderstop is an upcoming life simulation game by Ivory Road, developed in collaboration with Annapurna Interactive and creatively led by the Beginner's Guide creator Davey Redren, alongside Carla Zimonja and composer Daniel Rosenfeld. Set in a serene forest, the story centers on Alta, a former warrior who seeks solace and healing from past trauma by managing a tea shop. While she adjusts to her new life, the game delves into complex themes focusing on her struggle to find peace in a low-stress environment, while tending to her shop, cultivating ingredients, and forming bonds with patrons. Wanderstop is not just about completing daily tasks. Instead, it takes on an introspective approach, challenging players to discover growth through patience and genuine connections, exploring how healing and self-reflection can emerge in unconventional ways. Beyond its rich narrative, Wanderstop features immersive soundscapes and music with unique audio elements designed to reflect the shop's calm yet intricate atmosphere. The development team has incorporated procedural generation and advanced animation techniques to create characters with distinct interactions and lifelike behaviors. This technical approach allows players to engage deeply with the world as they explore, decorate the shop, and connect with visitors, creating a highly personalized experience. This title is set to release in early 2025 on PlayStation 5 and Steam for Microsoft Windows. Up next is Reanimal. Reanimal is an upcoming survival horror game by Tarsier Studios, known for their work on Little Nightmares, and published by THQ Nordic. This cinematic platformer follows a brother and sister navigating a twisted version of their home as they attempt to escape and save their three friends. Players must work together to evade mutated creatures and overcome various environmental puzzles, unlocking a boat along the way for non-linear exploration to eerie islands. Whether playing solo or in cooperative multiplayer, the game emphasizes a dynamic blend of tension and teamwork, with the second character controlled by AI in single-player mode. Tarsier Studios has designed Reanimal as a spiritual successor to Little Nightmares, aiming to heighten the horror experience with a unique game camera that keeps both characters in frame, maximizing a sense of claustrophobia and tension. The narrative draws on environmental storytelling and voice acting, bringing out the protagonist's emotional depth as they face horrors from their shared past. Inspired by games like It Takes Two, The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, and Silent Hill 2, Reanimal combines adventure with dread as the siblings explore a corrupted, once tranquil setting. Reanimal is set to release on Windows PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S with a planned launch window yet to be confirmed. Next is Hyperlight Breaker. Hyperlight Breaker, developed by Heart Machine and published by Art Games, is an upcoming roguelike adventure that builds on the world of Hyperlight Drifter from 2016. In this new chapter, players control a breaker exploring a mysterious land known as the Overgrowth, tasked with defeating the Abyss King. The game blends fast-paced combat with exploration, letting players mix melee and ranged attacks while traversing expansive landscapes on hoverboards, gliders, and by climbing walls. Every time a player dies, a new procedurally generated world appears, ensuring fresh challenges and surprises with each run. Unlike many games, Hyperlight Breaker uses comic-style panels instead of spoken dialogue, a nod to its predecessor's unique storytelling approach. The game supports cooperative multiplayer with up to 3 players able to journey together through the Overgrowth. Players can pick from various classes, each with unique abilities, allowing for different playstyles and strategic team combinations. Alongside battles, there's also an opportunity to explore Hub City between runs, interact with non-playable characters, and take down regional bosses leading up to the final battle against the Abyss King. Initially designed with separate biomes, the world was eventually consolidated into a single, seamless environment, an ambitious shift inspired by the studio's work on Solar Ash. Hyper Light Breaker is set to release in early access on PC in early 2025, inviting players into a visually striking, ever-changing world for solo or co-op play. Up next is Tales of Iron 2. Tales of Iron 2 Whiskers of Winter takes players back into the gritty, Souls-like world of the Rat Kingdom, now plunged into a new struggle against a rising ancient evil from the north. Players step into the role of Arlo, the young heir to the Warden of the Wastes, and embark on an epic journey to unite the fractured rat clans, battle legendary monsters, and confront deadly forces of the Dark Wings. With full narration by Doug Cockle, the voice actor behind Geralt of Rivia, this follow-up brings to life a dark and frostbitten kingdom, offering a tale of vengeance and survival against powerful foes with black wings and bloodthirsty fangs. The gameplay intensifies with brutal skill-based combat mechanics reminiscent of Dark Souls, where mastering dodge rolls, parry timings, and savage executions is key to overcoming relentless enemies. Arlo can craft and upgrade an arsenal with weapons ranging from fast-hitting spears to crushing maces, allowing players to adopt varied strategies. Giant beasts roam the northern wastes, each guarding rare resources to forge powerful gear, while the game's open-world approach lets players uncover hidden secrets across its vast, snow-covered regions. Settlement building is also central, as Arlo can invest in the Warden's stronghold, unlocking resources for crafting, cooking, and developing potent traps for an edge in battle. Set to release on PC in February of 2025, Tales of Iron 2 promises a new chapter in the saga of Rodent vs. Beast, with expanded gameplay features and fierce combat that fans of the original and new players alike can anticipate. The next title is Slay the Spire 2. Slay the Spire 2 marks a highly anticipated return to Mega Crit's beloved deck-building roguelike series. Players face the perils of the Spire 1,000 years after the original game. This time, the roguelike mechanics are back with fresh twists and a new roster of slayers, including fan favorites like the Ironclad and Silent, along with newcomers like the Necrobinder, a floating lich with the unique ability to call upon a spectral hand in combat. With the Spire's doors reopened, players can expect fresh threats and an array of challenges inspired by the original's intense strategy, but adapted to a reimagined world filled with mysterious foes. The core gameplay builds on what made Slay the Spire a hit: strategic deck building, procedurally generated levels, and impactful choices, all while introducing new card mechanics and tactical elements. Early screenshots hint at returning and reworked cards like Cleave, while showcasing new ones like Molten Fist and Hellraiser, promising new approaches to battle. A notable enhancement to the game's visuals comes as Mega Crit, learning from the first title's budget and resource limitations, has hired a dedicated art director to elevate the overall aesthetic, creating a more immersive and polished experience. Slay the Spire 2 is set for an early access launch in 2025 on PC, Mac, and Linux, with planned compatibility for Steam Deck. Expected platforms for full release include Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox Series X and S, as well as mobile devices. Up next is Tenjutsu. Tenjutsu is a gritty roguelike action set in the dystopian, neon-lit streets of Secret Garden City, controlled by 4 crime syndicates. You play as a renegade Yakuza master of martial arts on a mission to dismantle each syndicate, restoring the city and freeing it from their grip. The game features intense melee combat that demands tactical precision and fluid movement, with a wide arsenal of weapons and upgrades to master as you confront increasingly powerful enemies in each run. Unlike many roguelikes, Tenjutsu allows you to choose the order in which you tackle each syndicate, adding a strategic layer to the city's liberation. What sets Tenjutsu apart is its combat system, which emphasizes dynamic one-versus-many encounters inspired by action scenes in films like John Wick or Jackie Chan. The fast-paced combat incorporates brawling techniques, weapon variety, and environmental awareness, challenging players to skillfully manage enemies and make split-second decisions. As you progress, you reshape the city, unlocking shops, shortcuts, and new areas to help you further customize your approach and access advanced equipment. Each syndicate grows stronger the longer they're left alone, adding to the challenge and strategy of each decision. Although Devolver Digital hasn't announced a release date, Tenjutsu will be available on PC platforms, with more details expected in future updates. Up next is Replaced. Replaced is a highly anticipated retro futuristic 2.5D platformer from Sad Cat Studios that immerses players in a dystopian version of the 1980s, where society is split between the privileged, elite, and the struggling masses. Players assume the role of Reach, an AI trapped within a human body who explores the oppressive streets of Phoenix City to uncover dark secrets and experience humanity firsthand. With a strong narrative focus, Replaced blends exploration, combat, and storytelling in a pixel art world full of atmospheric detail and rich lore. Some of the game's features include its meticulously crafted pixel art visuals characterized by dynamic lighting, smooth animations, and cinematic combat scenes that evoke a gritty, immersive vibe. Gameplay combines light and heavy melee attacks with tactical dodges and parrying, giving each encounter weight and intensity. Replaced also offers players the chance to navigate diverse environments filled with side quests and interactions that reveal more about this fractured world, while adapting their combat approach to face a range of enemy types. Expected to release in 2025, Replaced will launch as an Xbox console exclusive on Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One, while also being available on Windows PC via the Microsoft Store, Steam, Epic Game Store, and GOG. It will also be Day 1 addition to Xbox and PC Game Pass. Up next is Morsels. Morsels is a quirky creature collector roguelite from developer Furcula, set in a surreal world where players take on the role of a clever mouse on a mission to fight back against cat oppressors. Starting in the sewers, players meet a magical fatberg who grants transformative powers, allowing them to become a morsel, a unique creature with abilities designed for strategic combat. This adventure sees players venturing from the underworld into dangerous territories above, collecting new morsels and switching between them to battle and outwit enemies. What sets Morsels apart is its blend of fast-paced action and creature collection, with each morsel boasting unique abilities, afflictions, and power-ups that affect gameplay. As players progress, they'll uncover hidden levels with distinct art styles and gameplay twists that add depth to the roguelite experience. A rotating roster of morsels keeps combat fresh, encouraging players to mix and match their troupe of magical creatures for various strategic approaches. Morsels is set to launch in February 2025 on PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and Microsoft Windows, as well as Mac. And lastly, we come to Tears of Metal. Tears of Metal is a medieval hack-and-slash roguelike with a co-op twist where players lead a Scottish battalion through hordes of invaders and reclaim a war-torn island. With gameplay focused on intense combat and strategic upgrades, players will face waves of enemies across sprawling battlefields, wielding powerful attacks and unlocking unique abilities with each run. The game has a dynamic combination of hack-and-slash action and strategic elements. Players can choose from a roster of heroes, gathering over 100 artifacts to create devastatingly distinct builds and destructive power-ups that evolve with each attempt. With an upgradable settlement, permanent troop upgrades, and the challenge of permadeath for fallen soldiers, the game brings a strong sense of progression and high stakes to every campaign. Players can expand their settlement to unlock new upgrades, shops, and difficult challenges that keep the gameplay fresh and challenging. Tears of Metal is set to release in 2025 and will be available on PC with full online co-op support for up to 4 players. So that wraps up our list of top 10 indie games coming out for the rest of this year in 2025. What do you guys make of this list? Were some of these games you were keeping an eye on? Have you not heard of some of these before? Did we miss anything? Let us know in the comments below.